った。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるんですよ。みんな、ブローケンケーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
Yeah, hear the battle cry under the devil's sky. The one-winged angel screams. It fuels my hopes and dreams. The best revolution.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables Podcast, here with our AEW Revolution pay-per-view review. That sounded kind of funny to say, but thank you guys very much for joining us here tonight, along with our reigning, defending Broken Predictions champion, King Rome. Welcome, everybody. My God, this pay-per-view kicked so much ass. I was blown away by at least 3 or maybe even 4 of these matches, man. Like, holy crap, this was an all-time pay-per-view for me.
I absolutely agree. I think this was absolutely an all-time pay-per-view for them. Just an incredible show all the way through. Even the rest match, to say, which happened after the death match, even that match was pretty good, and even the crowd stayed with it through the entire show. This was an excellent pay-per-view from top to bottom, front to back, beginning to end.
So good.
Such great storytelling, such great matches, and it was just excellent show.
It was fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you to everybody who joined us for our watch-along. If you didn't catch that, if you want to go check out some of our reactions to some of these matches, my God, this was crazy. But we started off the night with an absolutely spectacular match between Jericho and Ricky Starks. I felt like this was finally, the nail in the coffin for this feud. I thought this match was great. And I actually thought, even though people thought this feud was going a little too long, I thought the last 2 weeks of build was great for the match.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the match held up to what it needed to be, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Pretty much completely, actually. I mean, obviously we talked about it week in and week out. The feud was kind of stale. But I think what we got here was a really solid start to the show. Jericho's 3rd year in a row starting Revolution show off. And it was a great match. I mean, it was really good. Ricky got a clean win, and this feud, like, we could say this feud wasn't very good, but at the end of the day, you got to give Jericho the props. He did the job for Andretti, and he did the clean job for Ricky twice. At the end of the day, like, you got hats off to Jericho, man. Like, that's GOAT shit right there, putting over the future.
True.
And I think that's also a really common theme of this pay-per-view that you'll see that continues as we go.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys who are the future winning matches tonight against established guys. Jericho lost tonight. Mox lost tonight. Danielson lost tonight. You know what I mean? Like, Jarrett lost tonight. Like, a lot of older guys did jobs for a lot of younger guys, and that definitely goes without saying.
That's a good point.
Now, that being said, I mean, I'm going to say it. I think the ending of the Ricky Jericho match was kind of hampered by a booking oversight, where I understand the idea of they didn't want to disqualify him right away. It was Aubrey trying to get him away from the ring before disqualifying. But Sammy did enter the ringside area, so therefore, technically Jericho should have been disqualified at that point. I am going to kind of hold that to the match, and, again, you could say it's a high standard. Tony Khan is an excellent booker. I know what I expect from him, and I expect things to make sense, and that's something that for me just didn't 100% click. But I'm not going to take it away from the match itself too much. I still thought it was a great match with a great ending that has Ricky winning clean after Jericho tries to cheat to win.
I think they may actually use Sammy coming down to the ring. I think we might see the implosion, the beginning of the end of the JAS.
Maybe.
And I think they can use that to jumpstart that. So we'll see. But yeah, Ricky gets an awesome win here. He blocks a Judas effect with a really cool, like, put his arm up out of the way, block the Judas effect. Ricky hits that Rochambeau and gets the win in a great match, man. I thought this was fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. All right, next up, we had the final burial, Jack Perry versus Christian Cage. So this was the first match of the night that I would give an A to, an A grade. I loved it. I thought this was absolutely incredible. This was the first match of the night where I wrote cinema in the notes.
Yeah.
Because it's just good cinema, man. It's good. It's great storytelling. You have this knockout, just a brawl between Christian Cage and Jack Perry. And once again, like I said, it's the theme of these younger guys picking up big wins.
Yep.
You had Jack Perry beat Christian Cage in, again, what was a great brawl. Not a brawl. I wouldn't say it was better than the Texas Death Match, obviously.
Nah.
But the storytelling beats were there, and they were so strong. Just having Jack get the concerto on Christian Cage, for Jack to put him in the casket and say his goodbyes to his feud with Christian Cage. I don't know if that's the last we see of Christian Cage in AEW, period. I hope not as well, but I do think this is a great way for Jack Perry to move forward.
Absolutely.
And, like, again, it was... Like, so you said something during the watch along where it's like, oh, I think this is the beginning of a darker Jack Perry. I don't think it's that. I think it's the beginning of main event Jack Perry. I think Jack Perry is leaving his boyhood innocence behind in this story, and this is the part where he's a man now. He's going to be a grown ass man. He's going to be an adult. He's going to go out there and he wants to win the world title. That's his aspirations, and I think you're going to start seeing him chase that a lot more seriously.
I can see that. Well, yeah, this was great. The visuals of him shutting the coffin.
And it just dropped.
With
great.
some smoke coming out. It looked so good. Whoever rigged that up, double thumbs up. That looked incredible.
I wonder how painful that was on the drop.
Oh, I
that
know.
was a sudden drop.
Those are
I mean, it probably only dropped like 2 feet, but still.
They're
probably, Christian, as soon as that door shuts, just like brace yourself.
They're heavily padded on the inside.
Oh, I'm sure.
But great match. I thought this was tremendous. Both guys looked incredible here. Fun fact here, Christian Cage, when he injured his tricep, he is able to wrestle a awesome match tonight. CM Punk's injury was just about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have about the same recovery time, CM Punk should be ready for a match any day now.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Andy's in here saying amazing pay-per-view. Absolutely, Andy. It was an incredible pay-per-view. Coog's here again saying thanks. He's thanking us for a slam bang fun night.
Absolutely.
No problem, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. It was a great idea to do the live stream and the watch along and hear from the now we're in podcast mode. Earlier I liked how we were kind of in commentary booth looking mode. But no, man, that was an excellent match. Really loved it. Next up we had the Trios Championship, the Elite versus the House of Black. And I would give this was a 5-star match for me.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. Just an excellent match. I thought that the presentation of both teams was great. The House of Black entrance was just incredible. Julio looked incredible. And we talked about it in the pre-show and during the live stream. The House of Black really needed the win.
They did.
And I think that it was really important for them to get this win. The way that they were unfortunately handled last year did drop the ball a little bit, to the point where obviously when the Fed came knocking to do contract tampering, it was something that, they were obviously thinking about, Malachi and Buddy. Obviously cooler heads have prevailed, and I think now we're on the right track here where we can get the House of Black and have them really mean something, and this was an incredible match. These guys deserve it, so I'm very happy to see it.
Yeah, completely agree.
So I also think that we're going to... I think Don Callis is splitting from the Elite.
Really?
So here's what I took.
He's handing out his card to talk.
Yeah. So I think Don is going to be very frustrated with the Elite, and I think that's going to give Hangman the opportunity to slide back in with the Elite. And then at the same time, I think Don Callis is going to line himself with Takeshita.
I can see it. Don Callis telling Kenny, "I got the younger, better version of you."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Julia Hart taking a V trigger. Amazing.
Yeah.
Julia Hart was on the apron. Kenny and Malachi were going at it. Kenny goes for a V-trigger and Malachi out of the way, and Kenny just blasts Julia Hart with this V-trigger. And instead of being like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Kenny was like, "Well."
Yeah, it's like, whatever.
That's what you get for getting up on the apron.
Yeah.
Excellent.
In the chat, the Coog says that you and him have unfinished business.
Yes, sir.
Coog, I would say stay tuned as head booker and world champion. We'll see what's coming down the pipeline in the future. Let's see what else is going on. Darth Gills says, so happy House of Black won. Coog saying Julia taking the V-trigger was sick. Natasha saying, as you said in the watch along, this is exactly where Julia is supposed to be. Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
And Michael Duke said Kenny Omega would be upset if that happened.
Yeah, he would be very upset. Yeah, if Don Callis is like, I'm upgrading to a younger, better version of Kenny Omega.
Yeah, completely.
Holy crap, that would be awesome. Let's do it.
So yeah, for me, this was a 5-star match. I would absolutely say that. I mean, so I would say that for me this year, this would be the second match I would give 5 stars. The first one being Ospreay and Ken and Omega at Wrestle Kingdom.
Ospreay Omega for sure.
Yeah, and then this one. Although that one I'd probably give 6 stars.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give Ospreay Omega 6. This one easily 5. I could go 5.25, maybe 5.5 stars on this one.
Yeah, no, this was excellent. This was really
Really
awesome. Really loved it. Everyone involved did an outstanding job.
What up, Darth?
All right, moving on. Next up, we had the 3-way dance for the AEW Women's World Championship. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho. And what ended up being what I think people saw as the weakest match on the card ended up being still a pretty damn good match. Again, this was a really good pay-per-view, an excellent pay-per-view. I don't think that there was a weak link in the chain in terms of a bad match.
Nope.
So this was really good. Jamie Hayter ends up picking up the win here. And after the match, Ruby Soho finally picks a side and joins the Outsiders.
The Outsiders. This match was really good, to be honest with you. And in the past couple times that I have seen Saraya in the ring, I was not thoroughly impressed. Here, I don't know if it was the other girls putting her in a position to succeed. I don't know what it was, but Saraya looked fantastic. I did not see anything from her that I was like, oh, geez, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great from beginning to end. I had no problems with this at all.
Yeah, again, we talk about it a lot. I think the Saraya hate is really unwarranted.
It is.
Look, she's not a top 3 in the division. No, absolutely not. But at the end of the day, she's an entertaining character, and she does her job. As a heel, you hate her.
Yeah.
And that's the point. I don't think that she's necessarily a bad wrestler. I know Ed has issues with her, in the chat. I don't know if Ed's here for the review or not. But we will see. So in the chat, Kuga saying, keep us updated on the media scrum. We actually currently have it on in front of us.
Yeah, we got it up.
Don't worry, I'm not missing it. It will be live, and if anything of noteworthy happens, it's not live yet. We'll keep you guys updated so you guys don't have to go back and forth.
Could you imagine the media scrum starts with Tony Khan and
CM Punk walks
just sitting there, sitting there.
He's like, you fuckers thought I was gone.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, right. That dumb fucking Corey Paths bullshit.
Roman said that to him on.
Yeah, I know. Bro, if you here's the thing: if you make me like Roman, that's a problem. I hate Roman Reigns. If you're at a point where I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Roman, tell him, Roman, tell him that Dusty didn't even talk about him. That line where Roman Reigns said, like, Dusty never even talked about you.
I was like, Rome needs to watch this promo. He really needs to see that.
I look, man, I'm always gonna give credit where credit's due. And Roman Reigns shitting on Corey Paths, Cody Rhodes, the roller coaster. Fuck that guy. Roman Reigns, for one night only.
Yeah.
I'll acknowledge you. There you go. One night only. Anyways, other things going on in the chat. Ramit saying, finally Ruby Soho got their new faction. Yep. Tony Khan using their whole bet upon Saraya. Coach said agreed, her best match to date, in his opinion. No Mandy Rose, no Mandy Rose, no CM Punk either. It's okay. Cook saying drones having a meltdown on Twitter over FTR. They absolutely are. They got again. We're in an age right now where unfortunately AEW wrestlers are going to work the fans, and they know how to get to the fans.
Hey guys on Twitter, get ready for Kenny and the Bucks to start working your asses too.
Oh my! I hate it so much. It's so bad. Like I do not do well with it. But regardless, Darth Gill says, I hope Mercedes comes in as the leader. I hope so, too. I think that's kind of where we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
I hope so, anyway.
And who needs to be the leader of the AEW girls? Jade Cargill.
Possibly. So, yeah, I mean, I thought this was a really good match, and it moved the story along. I'm so excited to enter the next stage of this storyline with the women, because admittedly, I understand that they wanted to get to the pay-per-view to do this Ruby Soho angle.
Yeah.
And the last 3 or 4 weeks was a little rough. They really dragged out this, she's not turning, she just wants the title.
Yeah.
And, like, we talked about it week in and week out. It was like, all right, come on. Like, I'm okay with long-term storytelling, but we're kind of spinning our wheels here a little bit. So it was nice to see them finally get to this spot. I'm very happy.
Yeah, you're right, Natasha. It should be Thunder Rosa, but I want to see Jade versus Mercedes so bad that I'm just like throwing Jade anywhere that Mercedes' name is mentioned.
So Jeff, I have one more Liquid Death. I've had this for about a week and a half. I saved this for tonight because I knew I was going to beat Coach Nick.
Nice celebration, Liquid Death. Jamie Hayter is badass. Glad she didn't lose. Oh, absolutely. She had no business losing that title tonight. There's not a chance in hell. No way.
Jamie's on fire.
Yeah,
She should not have lost.
absolutely.
It was the right move to keep the belt on her. For now. Because you know that belt's going to be a centerpiece of the women's storyline. Someone's going to get it off of her.
Yo, so when we met Tony Storm, I just got to throw this out there real quick. She had the belt, and she was like, okay, who wants to hold the belt? I refused to touch it. I don't know why. I was like, no, hand it to the wife. I was like,
Well,
I don't know what it was. I was like,
Jeffrey.
hand it to her.
A little misogynistic, but all right.
No, it wasn't that. It was
No,
like,
I
I wanted the wife to take the picture with it, and she kind of like shoved it to me first, and she's like, who wants the belt? And I was like, no, to the wife. And then afterwards, I was like, damn it, I should have got a picture with the damn belt.
Coach Nick is vomiting because I held on to my celebratory mountain water. Oh, man, that's the best Liquid Death I've ever had. Anyways. All right, moving on. Next up, 7-star match. Texas Death Match. Mox versus Hangman. Jeff, this was just absolutely incredible. This has, like, look, man, I love Omega Ospreay. I really do. Maybe it's because I'm more emotionally connected to the storyline being told here between Hangman and Mox. This is my match of the year as of right now. I give it 7 stars. This was absolutely incredible. The story that these two guys told, just Hangman making John Moxley tap out as he hung him, which that's where he got the nickname to begin with, because Hangman got the nickname when he hung a guy in Ring of Honor. And they're like, oh, it's the Hangman. So again, it comes full circle, and it's just beautiful. And I think obviously last year was a rough year for Hangman. Obviously him losing the belt to Punk, and just kind of what transpired afterwards. And honestly, kudos to John Moxley for tapping out.
Just 2 men turning each other into hamburger meat.
But the thing is that and so we talk about during the watch along, like, oh, I don't like CZW and stuff, and I don't. I don't, because there's no storytelling behind it. It's, let me grab a piece of glass and cut you open.
Yeah, I'm not.
Whereas, like, this match, there's a story being told here. There is a certain nuance to it. It is elegantly done. And I gotta give it to them on that. This was an absolutely fucking incredible match. This was cinema.
Oh, so good.
And I love this match so much.
It's hard to even like describe the match to you guys. Like, we're doing a review. It's hard to go over what happened here, because I could just be like, Moxley took some barbed wire and cut Hangman. Hangman took some barbed wire and cut Moxley. Moxley took some more barbed wire and cut some more Hangman. Like, it's just back and forth how it went, like, the whole night. It was insane. And I'm gonna address the Twitter people again here. This was called a Texas death match.
Mm-hmm.
Texas death match.
Yeah.
If you didn't think this is what it was going to be, I can't imagine what you were thinking in your head. Like, it's everything I thought it was going to be, but more.
Yeah.
So all of you guys are like, I have to turn this off. This is gross. Okay.
I mean, Jeff, I think at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about people are going to hate AEW. And that's the way it's going to be. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
When I see people hate WWE, like myself, I fucking hate WWE. I hope that the company burns to the ground. I hate them so much. But I have reasons. We could sit down and we can have an hour and a half long discussion about what led to the years that led up to me being, you know what, I'm done with this. I fucking hate this company. And like this company almost made me leave professional wrestling forever. Like I was done.
Natasha says they're thinking Texas death equals bra and panties.
But then you like AEW, like people that hate AEW and hate this match. They don't hate it because they've seen it. They don't hate it for any legitimate reason. They hate it because it's not WWE.
I am convinced a lot of these haters have never watched a single episode.
Absolutely not. You can see when they talk about things like this. A lot of the discourse on Twitter was like, I remember bodyslam.net put out a tweet and said that this match is brutal. And somebody was like, brutal to watch? Yeah, I'm sure. It's why I didn't pay to watch it. And people were like, bro, what the fuck is your problem? Like you didn't. Like, what a loser.
Whatever.
But
like Rome says, Hangman wraps a chain around Jon Moxley's throat, throws him over the top rope, and we literally get Hangman hanging Jon Moxley, who, in my my brain up here, can only ever remember Jon Moxley tapping out this one time ever. I don't think Jon Moxley has ever tapped out before.
I don't recall either. I would like for someone to point it out to me where.
And I'm talking even in the E. I've never seen Moxley tap out as Dean Ambrose. I've never seen him tap ever. That was, and a couple of people were saying, oh, the finish was a little weak, and I'm like, not if you know that Jon Moxley has never tapped out before. It was great.
Again, Jon Moxley just has to be applauded for this. This guy has done so much for Hangman Adam Page here, and tonight you got to really look at it where Hangman took Jon Moxley's spot. I mean, you can't look at it any other way. Hangman's the guy. Like, we talk about it a lot on the podcast, and I know a lot of our viewers have come around on him because I've explained it and I've broken it down. Hangman Adam Page is the main character of AEW. He is the protagonist of the company.
That's a good point.
He is. He just straight up is. His story is, out of every single wrestler in AEW, his story is the most intertwined to the success and failures of this company.
Yeah.
Other guys were young and are coming of age. Other guys were already had their stories told and are getting older. Hangman was the one guy that came in day one, young guy, but not too young, coming into his prime, and we've seen his story be told from day one of AEW. He was in the first World Championship match, and on and on and on. And when I sit here 4 years in, and I wasn't a Hangman guy at first, but at this point, how can you fucking not just be a Hangman Adam Page guy? I'm sorry. I say it all the time. If you just don't get it by now, I can't help you. I don't know what you're doing. I just don't.
Now, with Ed said, I love the match, but some of the spots were tough to watch. That is what I like about it, to be honest.
Right.
In a bloody match like that, I want to look away. I want them to make me be like, okay.
You want that reaction.
I feel like that added to it.
In pro wrestling, you want to feel things.
Yeah.
I don't want to just go through the emotions of it. And again, that's CCW. It's go, and again, like what you like, I guess. But in CCW, there's nothing there except what's wrong.
He said he tapped out in the E. Who? Roman?
It doesn't matter. For me, Dean Ambrose and Jon Moxley are not the same people.
Oh, Danielson, maybe.
That makes sense. I could see that. Anyways. What was I saying?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
This was incredible. That's all I gotta say.
His entrance was also very
The
good.
entrance, the new music, yes.
I hope he keeps it. That was fucking incredible.
Ghost Riders of the Storm, oh my god.
With the red light and the gear. Oh my god. But yeah, no, I mean, I just thought this was an absolutely incredible match. 7 stars. Yeah, if you don't get it, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I hope that this gives Adam Page the confidence to talk to his friends.
Yeah, finally go talk to his friends.
All I'm gonna say
It was
is,
even mentioned. Don Callis mentioned it.
I think the stars are aligning.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about it as we get there. Next up was the TNT Championship. Man, this media scrum is still not started.
Yeah, it usually takes them 20 minutes to get this
I
going.
guess so, yeah. Anyways,
Are we
TN
on 26?
TNT title, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. This was a surprising match for me. when this match went on afterwards, admittedly, I didn't watch the whole thing because I still needed a cool down.
Yeah.
But I got to give it to the crowd. They stayed in it. This crowd did not die.
They did, yeah.
This crowd stayed in it. And this match was a legitimately good match.
I was dead. I was
also on the ropes. Like I was watching, but like I was also trying to get caught up on Twitter and stuff. But this was a really good match for what it was. I would go and compliment it by saying that it was my favorite. It was my favorite cool down match that I've ever watched.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas, like, look, man, after you get that set, we see it at like every pay per view. There's always that one match where afterwards you're like, I need a fucking cigarette. I don't smoke, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to calm down. I need a minute to catch my breath and chill the fuck out. And this was that match, and you know what? It was still a pretty damn good match.
Yeah. I like Natasha's idea here. Hangman and Adam Cole want to join the Elite, and then they have a match to see who gets to go back with their friends. Not bad.
I think both should rejoin.
Yeah, they should. I think Adam Cole should be like his own thing for a little while. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a really good match. Surprisingly, Wardlow does win this. He chokes out Samoa Joe.
Not surprising to me.
It's surprising to me because I really think they should give Hobbs the belt on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And again, it's a TV title, so you can get away with kind of tossing it around a little bit. I mean, they did it with Cody and Sammy. It's a TV championship. Yeah. It's supposed to be thrown around like that. It's not supposed to be, oh my god, this guy's been TV champion for 9 months. Like, no, it's just not how TV titles work.
And like you're saying, in my opinion, I don't think a TV champion should be dominant like that, because the dominant champion should be your world champ. The TNT title should be for guys who are on their way up there.
Yeah.
And just
it's the workhorse championship.
The workhorse champ.
It's this guy's going to wrestle on Dynamite and Rampage or whatever TV show that they wrestle for. They're going to wrestle frequently. They're going to defend the title frequently.
Exactly.
And because of the frequent amount of defenses, they're going to lose said championship quicker than you would expect a world champion to lose it, because a world champion's going to defend their title once a month. TV titles should be defended maybe at least twice a month or even 3 times a month. That would be my expectation. Which we saw with Darby, which we've seen a little bit with Joe, and which I assume we're going to see with Wardlow again. I think that, I would still pull the trigger on Hobbs on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I would still absolutely do it.
I see Samoa Joe, especially now that we got the finisher. Wardlow finishes Samoa Joe with his own finisher with the coquina clutch, the rear naked choke. Samoa Joe goes out unconscious. Wardlow the winner, right? So using his own move to beat him, I feel like that says that the story is not over between those two. I think Samoa Joe interferes somehow on Wednesday, and then we get Wardlow going after the Ring of Honor title, and we get Hobbs with the TNT title. But we'll see.
Ed says Hangman should too. He doesn't need to be in a faction at this point. So here's the thing, man. Like, that's just the story that's being told.
He needs friends.
He's going back to his friends. Like, that's, again, Hangman's story it's a long and a very winding road of a story where he had the issue with his friends, the misunderstandings where they broke up, and now they're gonna get back together. And if you watch BTE, the times where like Hangman would make a text and then delete it, and then Matt Jackson would make a text and then delete it, and just like when Hangman was with Dark Order, and there'd be moments where he would think about his friendship with the Bucks. Like, I'm getting emotional fucking thinking about it. This shit really fucking moves me. I love this shit. But no, I think that the next step is for Hangman to go back to his friends. It's the next step in his story and his arc. He got his confidence back tonight. Now he can go get his friends. Sure. Who was that just answered that? Natasha says Joe cost Wardlow the match on Wednesday. I definitely think that's a big possibility.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
All right, but yeah, so this is a good match. Anyways, moving along. Next up, the 4-way dance for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal versus the Guns versus the Acclaimed versus Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. And man, double heartbreak for me tonight. When Orange Cassidy and Danhausen came out in all black denim, I got hard. Media Scrum is now beginning.
Enjoy the show.
We'll keep you guys updated as we try to chit
Is that a giant jar of pickles on the table? There is a jar of pickles on the table.
I didn't see that. Where was the jar of pickles?
It's over on the left next to a jar of something.
Questions
For salt. that hydration back after. I love Tony Khan, by the way.
Anyways, I knew that.
Look at that smile.
Hold on. Tony's going first.
Yeah.
They asked Tony if he thought that the main event was one of the best matches in AEW history.
Tony,
possibly.
Yeah, Tony responds saying it's probably one of the best matches they've ever had.
Listen, who's the best wrestler in the world?
It's MJF.
Oh, it's MJF.
MJF screaming at the media, saying he's the best fucking wrestler in the world.
He's on crutches. Or wait, yeah, he's on a crutch.
He just quoted CM Punk. MJF just quoted CM Punk saying he's the best in the ring, on the microphone, even at the commentary table. No one can touch him.
Word for word. Your face don't look good. MJF's face is destroyed. It is pickles, yeah. I'm gonna eat the shit.
So MJF is furious. There's pickles there for him. MJF's talking about his history as a football player.
On my left leg.
So MJF says that due to a previous football injury in his left leg, where it was a torn MCL, it's been nagging him for years. So he's doing the CM Punk thing. He's doing the CM Punk thing.
He's eating the pickles, yeah.
So MJF is pissed off, bloody, with a towel, eating pickles at
exactly like CM Punk was eating the desserts from Mindy's Bakery.
CM Punk, Jesus Christ. MJF has one of the media members eat a pickle.
That's Nick. That's the guy that talked to CM Punk.
Oh my God!
That's Nick the guy that asked.
That's Nick Houseman. We're being fucking worked.
We've been worked, y'all.
MJF says these questions that the media asks fucking suck. He asks for hard questions.
I'm a massive pickle fan. I want one of those pickles. Classic dill, baby.
Jesus Christ. You mentioned CM Punk. MJF has name dropped CM Punk. So the media guy asks who's a dream opponent for him to cement his legacy. MJF responds, he's like, I'm not a mark like everyone else in this company. I don't have any dream matches. Rat shit. No one's asking a question. He asks if they're scared. Will Washington, my guy.
I love MJF so much.
5 minutes.
Fuck that kid.
Thirsty. Tony. He had a conversation. I was a real pro.
He's doing what CM Punk did too. He's taking off the tape.
Taking off the tape. They're recreating this all out.
MJF said the kid looked thirsty.
Iron Man.
One of.
In the world. So I was curious, what are your
I'm sorry, we were pausing the review for this, guys. This is too good.
Same. The hand when it came. Five minutes. 30 minutes. Not a cold shower for normal shower. I would eat 12
Holy moly.
ounces. No yolk.
No
And then I
yoke.
would go to the gym. Lift like
MJF is going through his preparation regimen, and it is insane.
bullshitting, but I've never been.
We'll get back to the review as soon as MJF is done, guys.
But in all sincerity, Brian Daniels.
MJF says Bryan Danielson is the toughest competitor he's ever been in the ring with, and he knew he had to do everything in his power to win the match. Sick.
So, once Brian Danielson said, but at this point,
It's been a while. I have to go back. I have to. Dynamite. Thank you. That was Seattle, January 4th.
Who's a Meltzer? Will Washington. I love Will Washington.
Reportments.
Will Washington.
How long was the preparation?
so yes. Not exaggerating. That's literally what I
Oh yeah, Riho would be a great autograph signing.
could not take. I did very heavy lifting. Dumbbell bench. Had I knew I was wrestling.
So MJF just kind of retouching on the preparation he did. He knew he needed to have the cardio. He needed that. He knew that what Danielson was going to bring to the table, so he had to be able to beat.
Yeah. Banana Man fears Riho. Michael, if you like Riho, go check out our Banana Man fears Riho short.
To agree with what I have. Just think it's truth. Who's this good on the mic? Who's the complete pack?
CM Punk. Righteous Reg, let's go, Reg.
I know who you are. Answer the question.
You want 1 hour with Brian?
1 hour and
Tonight.
what?
Would you? Possibly be next.
Sensitive cow.
Body. Are you forward?
I think
I forgot about that.
MJF says that he thinks Hangman is scared of him.
there are other people who I genuinely, really don't.
Already
I
lining it up.
also don't.
Yeah, Ed. In queue.
MJF points out he doesn't like guys like Darby Allin, Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara.
Yes.
The other three pillars.
They're very solid. There we go.
He says that he thinks that they get away with doing next to nothing while he's the real pillar.
Yes, sir. Just name drop the four pillars. Give me MJF Darby, please.
He also talked shit on Adam Cole just now. He doesn't like Claudio. Calls that Hicks a crybaby bitch. He thinks he's a punk.
A lot of I would.
And them's fighting words was for Eddie Kingston.
For all of them.
Tearing everybody down. Eternity is longer than 2024.
Denise.
Your voice is great. Keep going.
MJF says Denise Salcedo's voice is graining.
I'm just going to state a fact.
I believe I've said something along those lines to you myself.
There's this thing because then by the end, social media. Yes. I don't know if he can hang.
It's a Discord.
Everyone who hates that. It's ridiculous. Jungle Boy, man. Darby Allin, Sam Rhodes, man.
Name drop CM Punk again. MJF says he doesn't wrestle often. He's not a fucking mark. All that matters to him is the world championship.
Yeah, this definitely turned into a post-media scrum watch-along.
Bullshit.
He is destroying everyone on Twitter.
Fucking. I was reading. I don't know if he. Fucking. So are we done?
MJF calls the media the cream of the crops of the marks.
I am not one to.
Man, they're giving MJF like 25 minutes already.
I've been on.
Not the same.
He felt instantly because his fiance left
So what's
him.
motivating?
Yeah, this has been a great night, Coog. I
This is
agree.
good.
Thank you.
Such a mark. He's such a mark. Hmm.
Same legacy. Like him.
Eh,
Greatest territory.
MJF saying he thinks he's the greatest of all time at 26 or 8. He said Tony Khan's very lucky to have caught him at the time he did. Shouts out the pickle place. So he pointed out saying, he said, I would say thank you, but then I'd be an insincere piece of shit. And then he still thanks them.
thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Who's saying he sucks?
I think it was Will.
Leva.
No, Leva doesn't have blue hair anymore.
Yeah, she died at brown.
Womp, womp, womp. All right, now we can get back to the review. MJF is gone. All right.
I guess I'll pause this. I'll watch the.
Yeah, I'll just make sure to we can leave it on.
Well, I don't want to miss things.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to want to actually watch it. All right, so we can carry on. We're actually really close to the end anyway. So we had the four-way dance for the tag team championship. The Guns ended up winning this. This is actually a great match, really fun. I feel like there was a lot of doubt about this match, and at the end of the day, I thought it was completely unrealistic. I mean, people weren't looking forward to the match, and it ended up being great. I really thought Cassidy and Danhausen, I wanted them to win when they came out in the black denim. Fortunately, they did not. Yeah, it was really good. This was the perfect match to go on before the main event, to go on before the Iron Man match.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying that the four-way tag match we had on was that Rampage or Dynamite? It was Dynamite, right?
Yes.
The one we had on Dynamite, they were like, "Oh, this should have been the four-way match. This looks much better." Well, on paper it might have, but in the ring, this match right here was way better than that other one. I thought Jeff Jarrett being in this actually added tremendously to it. The crowd, the nuclear heat that Jeff Jarrett gets, especially when he goes to do his strut, and then they do the four-way scissor thing with the gun club. Like, it was perfect. Everything about this was fantastic. We almost got the guitar spot. You know, I love my Jeff Jarrett with the guitar, but Max Caster grabbed the guitar from him and took it away. No guitar spot for us. But this was freaking awesome, man. We got Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Really, really looked like they were going to take it like 2 or 3 times. I thought they were going to have it. But alas, we kind of figured out why Danhausen was put into the match to take the pin. And the Gun Club retained. It was this was a great match. I actually expected this to be my least favorite of the night, and it wound up being one of my favorite matches of the night.
Yeah, again, it was just a really fun match on the card. It was exactly what the card needed, where it needed it, and it was super enjoyable. and it was fun. It was stupid, but in the best way. After the match, the Guns are in the ring, and who returns? But FTR Bald and FTR Hair. They do return. I just gotta throw my jacket on real quick. Jeff's gotta mark up a little bit. Give it a second. So FTR return. You gotta think that it's a good sign about April.
Absolutely.
Unless they're coming in to do one more job, which is possible. Can't completely outlie it yet.
But no, the pop they got. The pop was deafening. If you were in that arena.
I agree, but it's not about. Well, it's because people understand. Because Dax has been on Twitter doing his absolute fucking best to make it seem like they're leaving AEW. Which that's the point. And it is what it is. Maybe they're re-signed. Maybe Tonio mentioned it at the media scrum. I don't know. I would assume somebody might ask it to Tony. But I mean, we'll have to see what happens. It seems like FTR is back. I mean, obviously you have two guys back. There's one guy that you could, move forward with a certain feud that we've been talking about. And I hope we see that. Which we'll also talk about that briefly in the main event. But yeah, this was a really fun match. That was very enjoyable. The show in general was an excellent show. I'm not one to say less matches is good. No. I'm really not. But this show flowed.
It did
so well. Like 8 matches seemed like the right fit. Now, granted, one of those 8 matches was an hour-long match. Yeah. But I mean, I thought that it was a really, really, really good flow for this show.
I agree 100%. And another thing for me, every match felt like it was in the right spot. You know how normally I'm like, I wish this match would have been over here or this match over here? Mm-hmm. I thought every match was right where it should have been on the card. All right, Mike, have a good one, man. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yep, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Good talking to you.
We'll be back on Wednesday with the review of Dynamite and Rampage and stuff. So,
yep.
Even on Monday with the Game Room podcast.
Yep, talking video games. All right, let's get on to the main event because I know you got to go home soon. Yeah. The AEW World Championship match and a 60-minute Iron Man match, MJF versus Bryan Danielson. This match ended up going 67 minutes. It is a 5-star classic. Again, this was AEW Revolution 2023 is an all-time show for AEW and for pro wrestling in general. Not willing to budge on that opinion. I think that this was one of 4 matches on the card that really were just fucking slam dunk home runs. This was so well done. It was MJF's longest match in his career. You had Danielson being Bryan Danielson, breaking my fucking heart because this guy does not want to win. This guy does not want to win a world championship, and that's all I've ever fucking wanted. And it sucks. But you know what? He just, again, it's another young guy beating another veteran legend. And what can you say? I mean, obviously, they did it really well. They utilized the Iron Man match to the best of the capacities of the heel and the babyface.
Absolutely.
You had MJF doing what we thought he was going to do. He did a low blow and was able to get 2 pins off of it. So he disqualified himself once and got 2 pins. And then obviously they go into the overtime because he doesn't tap out. They go into sudden death. Uses the oxygen tank. And that also causes Danielson to pass out or tap out to his own move. It's just an incredible match. We can't go over everything in the hour, but it was absolutely just an outstanding, excellent wrestling match.
You know me in that word, perfection. Mm-hmm. And I kind of say I don't use it too often, but I feel like I'm using it a lot nowadays with AEW. That match was perfection. If you're telling me about 5-star matches, and sometimes they get the oh my god, the 6-star match. Mm-hmm. What in this would have not qualified it for a 6-star match?
That's a fair critique, and I mean, obviously, yeah, you'd have to sit down.
I'm just saying, like, this deserves the 6. Like,
I would agree with that. I would say that's the best Iron Man match I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. For me, that definitely beats Shawn and Brett.
Yeah,
just gonna say it. Yeah. I think it absolutely beats Shawn and Brett, which for me, Shawn and Brett was my favorite Iron Man match I'd ever seen. Omega Pac in early AEW was really good too.
That was good.
But I would have given it to Shawn and Brett still.
Even Kenny and Danielson was great, but not Not this great.
Kenny and Danielson, they didn't have an Iron Man match.
It was just a 60
it was
minute-
just a 30-minute tie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they wrestled to a tie.
Why did I think that?
I don't know. It's all right.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. That's
Yeah, I know. It's fine. But yeah, this is the best Iron Man match we've ever seen, in my opinion. Just absolutely outstanding match. MJF ends up winning. And just really caps off what was just an absolute excellent pay-per-view. And it's so funny to me because obviously the haters and the drones and all that stuff leading into this, you would think that like, man, this is going to be like one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. Bro, it's not even going to be the worst pay-per-view this month.
Not even this month.
Man, this show was so good. Just an excellent pay-per-view. Hands down. It's an all-timer for them. It gave off really strong like summer 2001 AEW vibes for me. Which just obviously for me, that was a really beautiful time for them. Like that summer, fall 2021 where they were really firing on all cylinders. So MJF during this match though, keeps screaming, I'm the best in the world. Like, here's the thing, man. MJF, absolute student of the game. We saw it during the media scrum. We see it all the time. I can't not think that CM Punk is coming back.
Oh, after the scrum we just saw, he literally just recreated
He did
the
CM
exact...
Punk. Yeah, he did CM Punk's thing.
Yeah.
He absolutely did that. He's like, I don't like any of the fucking people in the locker room. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm eating these pickles from this place that I like. They're really fucking good pickles. I'm ripping my tape off. I'm giving Nick Hausman a pickle. Like, it was great.
It's really funny that I noticed that jar of pickles so easily. I'm a huge pickle fan. Like, it's one of my favorite snacks. I noticed it, like, immediately. Like, because that jar, it's the same jar that I get, but that was a different brand. But it's the same exact jar. And you know how MJF couldn't get the lid closed? It's fucking impossible to close that lid on those pickles. I feel his pain right there.
Danhausen said, tonight the ass boys were the guns.
That's a good little quote. I like it.
That's great.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought this was an all-time pay-per-view for them.
Absolutely. Top 5.
Top 3. Maybe top 2. It's a really great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't really have any issues with it. And the cool-down matches were great. Storylines were great. The next phase of AEW starts on Wednesday, and I think that we're in for a really, really exciting summer. I mean,
yeah,
I think things are shaping up. I mean, I think you're going to see the women kick off more, lead to the blood and guts match. I do think CM Punk comes back, and you see the CMFTR versus the Elite storyline. Like, just a lot of great storylines going on. I think maybe we keep seeing the BCC versus Dark Order. There's a lot of shit going on. MJF's next challenger, which I think is going to be probably Darby.
Yeah, he's probably going to run down that list he went over.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to see him face a lot of those guys. I think Adam Cole's coming back. That's on the horizon. I think that could be the big summer feud is him and MJF. What's next for Jack Perry as he, I think Jack should be the guy that beats MJF.
Jungle Boy?
Yeah.
I think it should be Hangman, but...
Or Hangman. But I'm saying you also want to try to make somebody.
Yeah.
So, like, Jack's first win needs to be an emotional one. Last time MJF and Jack Perry faced each other in a pay-per-view, MJF won.
Yeah.
I think that, like, those are the two picks that I would go with. I would either go with Hangman or Jack Perry. But, I mean, we'll have to see. Thought that it was all around an incredible show.
Absolutely. Can't wait for Double or Nothing coming up in my hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada. Can't wait for Double or Nothing. It's going to be great. And this Wednesday on Dynamite, I have a feeling that this Dynamite is going to be like the Raw after WrestleMania. I have a feeling this Dynamite is going to be insane.
I mean, we don't have anything announced for it yet.
I know. I think there's going to
nothing
be
announced for it.
A bunch of people that weren't able to get on this Revolution pay-per-view, and I think they're going to get some spotlight on Wednesday. I think it's going to be a amazing Dynamite. So
possibly. Make
sure you guys join us for Dynamite on Wednesday. And you want to close this out?
Absolutely. This is 123.
We're not doing numbers on the pay-per-views, but
that's fine. Well, it's been a great night here on the Broken Tables podcast. Thank you for everyone hanging out with us during the watch along and everyone hanging out with us during our post-show review. We obviously thought this was an excellent show. I am still your reigning, defending, Broken Predictions Championship. The coach tried and he failed. Look forward to the future of the Broken Predictions division here. In the coming weeks, there will be announcements made about the future of the division, and matches will be made.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone hits the like button and subscribe on your way out. I keep looking at my laptop because usually the camera's right next to the laptop. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Check us out tomorrow on the Game Room podcast here. We're going to talk about video games. I don't have a topic yet. We might do a Zelda tier list. We'll see what happens. I gotta think about it. But until next time, see you guys later.
Right on. Top guys. Out. Of course, my button doesn't work, so we do
Oh,
it
no.
manually.
Coach Nick, I'm enjoying this celebratory water. Thank you.